Hello and welcome to a special version of the Splash Live and the MegaCast, our live 90 minutes of news typically here on Civic Center TV and throughout a network of stations across Oakland County. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. As I said, a special version today of the Splash Live and the MegaCast. Instead of 90 minutes of news this week, once again, we're going to be doing 45 minutes of news, combining all 90 minutes of 30 minutes typically of Greater West Bloomfield news and 1 hour of Oakland County, all packed in to about 45 minutes. And then we'll play that right back for you again so you continue to get that 90 minutes. Whether you're able to join us right away at 9:30 or you got to wait a little while, get into your workday, and then go ahead and listen to us in the background or watch us on demand or watch us later on our live rebroadcast, whatever you may choose to do to tune into us. You'll be able to do that on our website, civiccentertv.com, and across our entire network. Let's go through some of the different places that we air each and every day. Of course, we're on Civic Center TV, which is on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99 in the Greater West Bloomfield area, as you can see on your screen. Also on AT&T Channel 99 in the Public Access Education and Government Channels Guide. And then you'll also find us on the web, on our website at civiccentertv.com, as well as on our Facebook page, facebook.com. You'll go there and search at Civic Center TV 15, or just go to facebook.com/Civic Center TV 15, where you'll find us live every single day. And hey, if you don't want to wait for our archives in the early to mid-afternoon after these shows are done to watch us back, and you want to watch us right away after our show's done, maybe you got that window at like 11 o'clock or so, 11:30 in your morning to watch some of your local programming from in your community, right there, facebook.com/Civic Center TV 15 is the place to go. You can also find us, same idea, on YouTube at Civic Center TV. Just search Civic Center TV or Greater West Bloomfield Civic Center TV to find all of our programming live and on demand on YouTube, Civic Center TV 15. And of course, you can listen to us on the radio in the Greater West Bloomfield area and throughout the Lakes area on 89.3 Lakes FM. Got a secret for you too. You can find us online, live broadcasting on lakesfm.com. That's where you'll find us all around town each and every day throughout our network here on the Splash Live, 9:30 to 10 on most days with Dave Scott, and then from 10 o'clock to 11 on the MegaCast with me. This week, you're with me from 9:30 a.m. to about 10:15, and then you'll be with me all over again. We'll do the same thing right back for you again all morning long, all throughout the week. Monday through Thursday this week, but we'll tell you why we're taking that special schedule on this week a little bit later on. Now, as you can see, I'm clearly not at Green Media Center in West Bloomfield. Typically, you'll find me in that studio with the majestic blue background behind me on those drapes. But for now, for the time being, for a little while, that's not going to be the case, or at least it's not going to be regularly the case. As you may have noticed, I haven't been here for a little while. I had not been on the air at all last week. You did not see me around town. That's not exactly typical. Now, some people take a full weeks off. That's pretty common. That happens. Everybody needs some time away from work. However, this was not intentional. What happened was the Friday before last, so a week ago, beyond last week Friday, we suddenly had to end our show, the MegaCast, just before our 11 o'clock end time because I was undergoing some medical distress in the office. I had felt a little bit nauseous that morning. I had felt a little bit kind of like, something wasn't sitting right in my body, but pushed through it. It wasn't too severe. And then it got more severe as time went on. And ultimately it got to a point where I was no longer medically well to continue on doing the show that morning. And so we ended a little bit early. And then that's also where my work day had ended, where my work week had ended. Within the next hour, I went from being at Green Media Center to joining our friends at Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital in their emergency room and spent the next few days in the hospital. Now, there's no need to worry. I'm perfectly fine now. I have been fully examined. I'm going for follow-ups, and I'll make sure that I'm perfectly healthy and keep you updated as things go on an as-needed basis. But for now, for the time being, due to certain state laws and certain things that I did undergo while I was hospitalized, it's going to be a little bit tougher for me to get around our community over the next period of time. And so, for that reason, I'm now inviting you, as I've been invited into your home for all these years, I'm inviting you into my home each and every day for the MegaCast, and this week for our special broadcast of the MegaCast and the Splash Live all together in one program. Now, that being said, I'm inviting you into my home for 45 minutes a day. You're not getting a key. You're not, coming up to my door and knocking on it. I'm having you come in here and enjoying a coffee with me on the couch back here. This place may be a zoo, but it's got no more place for animals between myself and my cats, Jax and Idol. So for now, sit back, relax, welcome into my home, and as we say right up here, let's say right there, that's better. Enjoy the show each and every day here on Civic Center TV and throughout our network. It is the Splash Live and the MegaCast all across our network. So now that we've gone through that, I just want to say before we continue on, a huge thank you to, of course, the team at Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital for their dedicated care while I was in the hospital last weekend, previous weekend, and as I've been in their care throughout the past week or so. Going through this medical emergency in my life, and also to our friends at the West Bloomfield Fire Department who responded very quickly to the medical emergency I was undergoing at Green Media Center and helped me safely arrive in the emergency room and get the care that I apparently desperately needed in that moment. So big thank you to them. If you see them out on the streets, thank them for the great work that they do every day. Look, it's the fire department. They provide fire, EMS, and paramedic services, and most of what they do, they say this themselves. You'll probably hear it tomorrow at the Tri-City Fire Board meeting. The majority of what they respond to are not fires. There are other calls. There are medical calls. There are EMS calls. There's other situations where they're coming by to your home or to local businesses to do safety checks and make sure everything's okay. They provide fire marshal services as well to make sure new buildings and new businesses are complying with local safety regulations to keep everything in our community safe. So if you see our local firefighters at the grocery store or other places all throughout the community, give them a thank you this week. They do amazing work. And I unfortunately learned that firsthand a little while ago at Green Media Center. But now it's time to move on and get going with our show today. Plenty going on all across the Greater West Bloomfield community. So let's take a sip real quick, pinkies up because we're classy, and get right into everything going on, particularly in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Let's start with the weather. It's going to be a beautiful week here in Greater West Bloomfield and throughout Oakland County today. Moderate temperatures and a high of 65 degrees during the day. So not too hot, but not cool necessarily either. It's going to be a nice, warm day outside, mostly sunny. However, you might want to have a raincoat or you might want to have an umbrella with you throughout the day as we're expecting some showers, typically in the mid to late afternoon today and certainly over the evening as rain comes in. Showers are also expected, as I said, mostly in the PM, but keep those damp conditions in mind as you plan your commute home later on today or to pick up your kids from school or other places, and whatever other plans you may have. Keep in mind we may get some wet conditions out there later on. Maybe you'll bring a raincoat along with you, and I'll certainly bring a raincoat for my commute from my living room here to the mailbox later on today. Tonight, low of 47 and showers as well. So get outside while you have some time today in the beautiful sunlight here in Greater West Bloomfield and throughout our local area. It's going to be a beautiful day, and that continues on as we get into the early part of the week and into the midweek. Tuesday is when things start to look a lot nicer around here, and not that there's a bad comparison right now if you're looking out your window or you're watching us outside on your deck at home or maybe with your window open at the office. Daytime highs are in the upper 60s today. Forecast says that it's going to top out at about 68 degrees Fahrenheit today is our high, and then mostly sunny and an evening low of crisp, cool, and comfy, 44 degrees. So maybe even tonight, if it's a little bit warm in your place, you don't want to toss on the air conditioning just yet, or maybe you're saving a little bit of energy, keeping being green in mind. You might want to open a window tonight, get that light, little cool breeze. It's not going to make it too chilly in your home, as it's going to be about 44 tonight, 44 on Tuesday. At night. Wednesday, bringing in hump day, we'll be trekking away with highs at 74 and a light breeze during the day, and then at night, clouds and 48 degrees should make for a very brisk evening walk or just a relaxing slumber once again as we head into the latter half of the week. So that's your weather. We'll have more of that as we go throughout the week, and we'll dive in a little bit deeper into the later week forecasts as those are updated all throughout the week. Of course, keep up to date with your local weather authority. It's a great place to do that is with our friends at the National Weather Service by going to weather.gov and then just putting in your zip code. It'll give you the latest forecast directly from the source at the National Weather Service, serving the Pontiac, Detroit area with their office in White Lake. Here's what's going on around town in the Greater West Bloomfield community over the weekend. Some really fun stuff happening around town. Some nice stuff, too, that we're seeing on social media. Our friends at the Keego Women's Club were out and about in the heart of the lakes over the weekend. Let's take a look at some of those pictures, Calvin. We can throw those up there. They were out over the weekend cleaning up our sidewalks and even our waterways and sides of the street here in the Keego Harbor area. We have a picture of a few of the gals and their buddy Paul out and about in Keego, keeping things fresh and clean this spring. Big thank you to them, as we know this time of the year, as things are warming up and we're getting away from the snow and people are back out and about. Some of what's been left over from past seasons is having an impact in our local area, and you may see some of that, trash along the sidewalks or even making their way into the waterways. And so here we see a bunch of them out and about over the weekend with some picks and some garbage bags, getting some of that stuff off the side of the roads and off of the roadways and all of that, making a big impact in our local community. I had a similar experience on Saturday. See, I'm not able to drive it for the time being. And so a lot of what I've been doing lately is a little more exploring of my local area around my home here on the western side of Oakland County, going out and about. And as I was going for a walk on Saturday, I saw someone doing something very similar, picking up cans and trash and whatnot from the side of the road on Pontiac Trail as I was walking in the evening, and doing something very similar to keep their community safe and keep their community nice and clean and presentable as we get into the warmer months of the year, further into the warmer months of the year, and we continue to be out and about all throughout our local community. Hey, another great way to get out and about in our local community and explore some of the fun and intrigue all throughout Oakland County is at the Oakland County Farmers Market. It's back open. It's been back open, and its season is just underway. It all began last week, and now will run through about the fall season. You can join in 3 days a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Begins bright and early at 7 o'clock in the morning, but ends early in the afternoon at 1:30 p.m. So still limited time, but 3 days per week. You can get out there, get some locally grown food and other products from people that are your neighbors right here in Oakland County or in surrounding areas in southeastern Michigan. That's off of Pontiac Lake Road in Waterford Township. It's the Oakland County Farmers Market, 7 a.m. to 1:30 on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, and on Saturdays. And of course, you can find more information on the Oakland County Farmers Market and other things happening throughout Oakland County through Oakland County's Parks and Recreation Department and adjacent groups by visiting oakgov.com. Oakgov.com. Navigate through there to all their fun events and other happenings throughout the community. Then, hey, Wednesday this week, a great opportunity for you to take a little bit of a time away from the busyness of the week and the stress of the week and relax yourself, get some exercise, and meet some nice people right here in Greater West Bloomfield at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. Wednesday night yoga is back for its final edition in the month of May, set at 6 o'clock sharp on Wednesday at the Sylvan Lake Community Center to make way for their city council meeting at 7:30 p.m. That will also be right here on Civic Center TV. But they're back most Wednesdays going forward throughout the summer and into the fall and beyond that as well, usually about 6 o'clock or 6:30, maybe 7 o'clock outings depending on the week. You can find more information in the Sylvan Lake What's Going On Facebook group. But their next scheduled Wednesday night yoga nights after this week, May 10th, at 6 o'clock are going to be on June 7th, June 21st, and June 28th, all at 6:30 p.m. and all at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. So again, more information can be found on what's going on at the Sylvan Lake Community Center by visiting sylvanlake.org, and you'll find their community center calendars, plenty more beyond Wednesday night yoga. They'll have some euchre nights there as well, some other fun events that are happening there all throughout the week and throughout the summer. It's a very vibrant time in Sylvan Lake, in the prettiest little city in Michigan. So take a look at sylvanlake.org to find more information on fun events in Sylvan Lake right here in our community. As I take a quick sip, and again, you can always keep up to date by joining us here on the Splash Live and the MegaCast all throughout the week, Monday through Friday. This week, 45 minutes from 9:30 a.m. to 10:15. And we'll go all the way back through it again from 10:15 to 11 with you all throughout the week. As you get into the later part of the week and you're looking for things to do this weekend, maybe take a stop over to the Recreation Activities Center at the West Bloomfield Civic Center Plaza, the Town Hall Plaza. If you've been doing some spring cleaning over the last week, you've probably gotten rid of a lot of things out of your home, and maybe you're interested in doing some thrifting or finding some new goodies to decorate your home this summer, your yard, the inside of your home. You need some other goods that people may not be able to fit in their homes. They're selling it at the Community Garage Sale through West Bloomfield Parks. That's happening Saturday, May 13th at the Recreation Activity Center in West Bloomfield Township, 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. Now, unfortunately, if you have been doing that spring cleaning and you're looking to sell some of those goods that you no longer need in your home, unfortunately, the cellar space is no longer available. It goes by quickly, but wbparks.org is the place to go. You can also call them by visiting their website at wbparks.org to learn more information about upcoming similar sales such as this that you may be able to participate in the future, or get information on maybe next year's community garage sale, other community garage sales coming up in the later months of this season and into the fall, so you can participate next time. Keep that stuff. You're able to store it somewhere for now and maybe sell it later on, or better yet, go ahead and donate it right now. It help other people in our community, in our local area and beyond. And of course, you still get that out of your home and declutter whatever you want to do this spring and into the summer. You have an opportunity to do that and find some good finds at the West Bloomfield Parks Community Garage Sale, Saturday, again, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Recreation Activity Center at the Town Hall Plaza. It's the building that says WB Parks on it, right next to the library as you pull into Town Hall on the left side of the street. Some other fun stuff coming up later on in the summer, this time from our friends at West Bloomfield High School. They have a really cool program there. Their robotics program is excellent at West Bloomfield High School, and they're continuing to expand it as time goes on. Dave Scott mentioned on a recent edition of the Splash Live, I believe actually it was the last day that I was in the office, that the school board earlier on that week had approved some new pieces for the robotics team to be able to use in order to build some of the robots that they're creating to compete against other robotics programs here in Oakland County and all throughout the state of Michigan. They're a highly competitive group doing some amazing work. And you can help them out this summer and explore some cool cars as we get around the time of the year where we have the Woodward Dream Cruise and a lot of other car shows here in our local area. One of them's coming right to our community in Greater West Bloomfield, August 13th. That's a Sunday from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Come out and enjoy some hot rods, some exotic cars, and classics of all kind in the parking lot at West Bloomfield High School. All the proceeds of the event go to support the robotics team. If you get in on it now, you get a little bit of a discount. On the day of the event, you'll pay $20 admission to get in and explore all the cool cars and other gadgets there and learn more about the robotics program. But if you buy tickets now, you get a $5 discount. They're just $15, and you'll be able to get in for a little bit of savings from the August 13th event at West Bloomfield High School that supports the West Bloomfield robotics team. WBSD.org is the place to go to find more information on events throughout the West Bloomfield School District that support programs like the West Bloomfield robotics team at the high school and throughout the district, and learn more about this event as well. There's also a Facebook page for this event that you'll be able to find. That is also linked through the West Bloomfield School District's Facebook page as well. But again, mark your calendars. August 13th, Sunday, August 13th, 9 a.m. to 12:30 at West Bloomfield High School. A great car show coming up for all you car lovers and those that just want to get out in the sun in the community and talk with a lot of cool and interesting people, including some really smart kids and creative kids doing amazing stuff right here in our community. The next generation of engineers, car designers, and more that will be certainly having a lasting impact well beyond Greater West Bloomfield once they graduate and go on to what looks like very successful careers, maybe in the automotive industry, maybe in technology, or maybe somewhere completely different. They're getting great learning opportunities right here in Oakland County. And that's a great way to support that. So one more time, Sunday, August 13th, 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at West Bloomfield High School. Tickets are now $15 pre-sale, $20 as you pull into the parking lot on August 13th. Then also coming up here in just a few weeks, we're just about that time of the year. It's surprising enough to say Memorial Day is coming up, and that means Memorial Day parades all throughout the Greater West Bloomfield community. You can still participate in the Heart of the Lakes at the Keego Harbor Memorial Day Parade on Cass Lake Road. There's still time to register, but you're running out of time to do so. May 13th is the deadline in order for you to participate. Either have a float or walk in the parade or volunteer with a parade group. They want you to participate. They love having as many people as possible get into this Keego Harbor Memorial Day Parade. But it's a big undertaking for Keego Harbor Parks and Rec, the little engine that could of an organization that it is that does such amazing stuff in Keego Harbor. A lot of fun events all throughout the year. And this is the big one. The Keego Harbor Memorial Day Parade is not a little event. It is a huge undertaking that this group of volunteers in your community are putting on to help celebrate our veterans and of course, most importantly, to remember our fallen veterans, as that's what Memorial Day is about. It's not a celebration of our veterans. That's what Veterans Day is for, but Memorial Day is about remembering those who have given their lives to serve our country and protect our country. That's happening later on this month. You can still participate. KeegoHarbor.org. You have until Saturday, May 13th. That is a Saturday. I'll go ahead and check my calendar to make sure I'm not telling you something that's not entirely true. That is correct. Saturday, May 13th is the deadline to get involved. KeegoHarbor.org for more information. But big event coming up this week is on Friday. We're not going to do our shows. It's that big. It's so big that we are moving the Splash Live out of 9:30. We're moving the MegaCast out of 10 o'clock. We're moving the special version out of 9:30 to 10:15 on Friday morning in order to bring you the 51st Annual Michigan Week Community Awards Breakfast live from Temple Israel in West Bloomfield, celebrating volunteers and a number of different organizations throughout our community and those who just volunteer their time, their energy, their expertise in general in our local area. It's a long-standing tradition in the Greater West Bloomfield community, as you can see on our screen here. Calvin Brown giving you the overview of it there. As you can see, last year's event and some of our virtual events from years past with volunteers, all different organizations, the fire department. I don't know who that guy is, but he doesn't seem like he deserved any sort of recognition or receiving an award. But that's going to happen Friday, May 12th, live from Temple Israel, bright and early, 7 a.m. Tickets are already out and about, so you can't attend live in person, but you can always attend live with us here at Civic Center TV. We'll have a live broadcast for you all throughout our network, just like we're doing today with this show, just like we're doing all throughout the week with this show, Monday through Thursday. Friday, same thing, but it's going to be a little bit earlier, 7 o'clock a.m. for our live broadcast, recognizing our community leaders and volunteers, people who are giving their time, their energy, their money, their dedication. They're giving their entire heart to our organizations that make such big impacts in our local area and beyond each and every day. They don't want that recognition. That's not what they do this for, but we give it to them anyway because that's what you do for people that do great things in your community. Friday, May 12th, 7 a.m. Mark your calendars. Join us live, civiccentertv.com, on our YouTube page at Civic Center TV, on our Facebook page at Civic Center TV 15, and of course Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99. Then mark your calendars for later on in the summer for the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, one of the best juried art shows in all of the state of Michigan. It's coming to West Bloomfield Township once again on July 29th and 30th on Powers and Daly Road. That's right. They closed down these two roads for several days beforehand to set up tents and set up other exhibits, including music and all the space for the artists. But in the days before, it's on Powers and Daly Road. As you can see, this announcement of ours. You'll see throughout our programming. It's in the town center district by the old Orchard Fitness Building and the post office. Those are Powers and Daly Roads, just off of Orchard Lake Road at the boulevard there. And they take up entire streets. Artists from all around the U.S., around the country, around the world, our local area, they are all in attendance. Patty Rosny and her team at Hotworks put on this show. It's one of their biggest shows of the year. It's the 20th annual Orchard Lake Fine Art Show by Hotworks. Hotworks.org is the place to go to learn more about all the artists that are going to be in this show. And this is what Patty Narozny always talks about. She is the executive producer of the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, the genius behind all the programming that they do to make this event great every single year, finding these artists, recruiting these artists, reviewing these artists with her team to make sure they're bringing you original art that is handmade. It's not copies. You're not getting printouts of other art. You know, I'm not saying that this piece here behind me, I got my bearings wrong here, that, you know, this one, let's say, you know, someone did that art. Someone did amazing work with that art, but it is a reprint on a canvas. You're not going to get that at the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Someone's going to do something like that, but it's going to be the original work, one of a kind. It may be similar to something else they've painted before, but it's always going to be something they have painted originally for that piece of art, and you can get it at the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, July 29th and 30th in West Bloomfield Township. Tickets are already available on hotworks.org. It's also the place you can go to learn a lot more information about all of the artists who are coming to this year's show, see some of their art. A lot of them repeat and come back in the years past. I highly suggest, too, if you want to learn more about what goes on at the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. We've done live shows from there. We've done news reports from there. We've done interviews with some of the artists. We've talked to Patty Narosny already this year about the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show when she officially announced the dates for this year's event. All of that is on our website on civiccentertv.com. Just click on our on-demand page and search Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. You can also do that on YouTube. Just go on youtube.com and searching Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, or even better yet, search Civic Center TV Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, and you'll find content specifically from us from when we've been out there in years past. You can learn more about the art show, learn more about some of the artists that are there year in and year out for this event, coming from all around the world. It's one of the most unique art shows in the state of Michigan over the summer. July 29th and 30th, 2 days, a Saturday and a Sunday, in West Bloomfield, right in the heart of the community, just off of the Orchard Lake Boulevard on Powers and Daly Road. And there will be parking available behind the Beaumont Medical Center, just south of Powers and Daly Road. So don't have to worry about trying to find parking a mile away in West Bloomfield Township and walking down Orchard Lake Road to get to this show. It's a very short walk. In fact, that Beaumont Medical Center parking lot that is made available typically for this event leads right up to one of the two entrances to the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. So it's a really convenient process. It's very well thought out. There's a lot of coordinating that goes on between West Bloomfield Township, between our friends at the police department and the fire department to make it a safe event. And Patty Narosny and her team at Hotworks, who put on one of the premier juried art shows in Oakland County and all throughout the state of Michigan each and every year. Hotworks.org is the place to go. You'll find even more about the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, about Michigan Week, about the Keego Harbor Memorial Day Parade, and all the other busy stuff that we're doing here in the month of May and June. It's that time of the year where we really ramp our programming into high gear between these big events, graduation and honors convocation later on this week. Midweek, we'll be honoring volunteers in our youth and teen community with the West Bloomfield Youth Assistance Awards that happens each and every year. That's going to be happening at West Bloomfield Middle School on Wednesday, and we'll have a broadcast of that available for you on civiccentertv.com as well. And you'll see that later on Friday as a replacement for our live shows along with Michigan Week, as we honor our volunteers to end the week and go into the weekend with, feeling fresh, feeling renewed, feeling motivated to do something good in our local community. That is all happening on civiccentertv.com. We'll talk about this all throughout the week and make sure you get plenty of reminders of when these things are happening, where you can see them, and all of that as we go on all throughout the week. Splash Live and MegaCast special Monday through Friday this week, 9:30 to 10:15. And then if you miss us during that first 45 minutes, hey, you can join us all over again. You'll get all that information back to back as we cover our 90 minutes of live programming and live to tape programming this week as well, all throughout the week. We're going to take a short break here and transition from the Greater West Bloomfield Community to more of a look at Oakland County and the state of Michigan as we transition into the MegaCast portion of this programming. That's all coming up next. Some great stories that are happening about the state of Michigan, here in Michigan, and even as far out as Philadelphia. That's coming up next. You're watching and listening to our special edition of the Splash Live and the MegaCast.
Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
What's happening around you? Hear about state events, businesses, and from the people behind them on The MegaCast, an hour-long TV, radio, and streaming show keeping you informed on the day-to-day news. Listen in on talks with volunteer groups, documentarians, and financial advisors, Monday to Friday with your host, Tyler Kieft. Catch The MegaCast weekdays from 10 a.m. to 11 on Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM, and streaming on MyMyTV.com. You're watching and listening to your home for Greater West Bloomfield News, Civic Center TV and 89.3 WBLD Orchard Lake, West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, 89.3 Lakes FM. It's the MegaCast, an hour-long TV and radio streaming show keeping you informed on the day-to-day news. Live from West Bloomfield, we're bringing you the news, updates, and information impacting communities around Michigan. Join our host, Tyler Kieft, as he talks with community members, business leaders, and professional experts about the stories that impact you. You're watching the MegaCast on Civic Center TV. The West Bloomfield Youth Assistants will be recognizing local youth for their volunteer service, personal growth, and leadership. Join us as schools, hospitals, and religious organizations nominate the up-and-comers in your community. Show your pride for our future. The Youth Recognition Awards, May 10th at 6 p.m. at the West Bloomfield Middle School. This community update from Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
There are many different kinds of noses. Our noses can sniff out all kinds of things. Good things and bad things. Your nose knows if those sniffles are just a cold, allergies, or COVID-19. So swab it. Test it. It's good to know.
Welcome back to our special edition of the Splash Live and the MegaCast on Civic Center TV and all throughout our network across Oakland County. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft, live from home for the time being. If you want to learn about why that happened, of course, I had an unfortunate medical emergency in the past couple of weeks that took me off the air briefly. And so for the time being, I'll be doing shows from home. I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly safe going out in the community, both for yourself and for myself, but doing the show now from home for just a little while. Let's dive into what's making news throughout Oakland County and all throughout the state of Michigan. Some great stories from over the weekend making news today in Oakland County and around the Great Lakes state on our local news page on civiccentertv.com. And the NBA playoffs, some local connections here as Philadelphia 76ers star James Harden, of course, in the wake of the shooting at Michigan State University, made headlines for building a friendship with one of the victims of the shooting, John Hao, an international student whose favorite athlete in the world was the Beard himself. And so Harden, after hearing about this, reached out to John Hao over social media and got in contact with him, gave him a phone call and FaceTimed with him, sent him some swag from the Philadelphia 76ers, including a jersey, and promised that once John was healthy enough to get out and about, he would get him to a Philadelphia 76ers game as soon as possible. And boy, what a great game to go to on Sunday night, a 116-115 thriller where the Sixers won on a James Harden buzzer beater with 16 seconds to play in the game. And there with him at the game was John Hao himself. If you can scroll down, Calvin, on there we have some pictures too, or you go to our local news page for a picture of John with James Harden. It's a great embrace between these two at the game on Sunday, as John was able to get the VIP experience along with his new friend James Harden at that game. As you can see now on your screen, that's John with James Harden. James is signing his game-worn shoes that he won that game with, defeating the Boston Celtics, and giving that to John Hao, an MSU student injured in the shooting in February, who you can see there in a James Harden jersey courtside at the game on Sunday night. What a spectacular show of grace from James Harden to John Hao from Michigan State University after that game for Thriller. Look, I'm a Detroit Pistons fan through and through. as I'll flip that around so you can read. Right side up. I'm a Detroit Pistons fan. The Phoenix Suns are my backup team. I got some family in Phoenix, and while growing up, had watched some really exciting Phoenix Suns basketball while visiting them out there. So that's my B team. But hey, you know what? It's hard for me not to root for the Philadelphia 76ers and James Harden after doing that for John Hao. Also making headlines very briefly, one more really great story here in Oakland County, closer to home in Royal Oak, as a longtime resident and volunteer has continued to make a big impact on her beloved library even after her passing. Victoria Dickinson was a longtime volunteer in Royal Oak and the former president of the Royal Oak Library Board, and after her recent passing in February, left one last big impact on the library, donating $50,000 from her estate to continue their amazing services there even after her time volunteering in person has come to an end. Dickinson left behind $50,000, and in response, library director Sandy Irwin said, quote, "She believed in her service to the community through her many years as a resident of Royal Oak. She was truly an example for others to follow." Really great story. Read all of that in full and other stories making news throughout Oakland County and the state of Michigan on our website on civiccentertv.com on our local news page. A few more minutes left in the show, so I want to bring in someone who's also doing some really fun stuff right here in our local area in southeastern Michigan. Frances Todoro-Hargreaves is the executive director of the State Street District and the spokesperson for the Ann Arbor Art Fair happening over the summer, and joins us now on the MegaCast. Frances, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's great.
Yeah, glad to have you on. A really exciting event happening in July 20th through the 22nd. That's a Thursday through a Saturday in Ann Arbor. And look, a little bit off the beaten path from us here in Oakland County. But that being said, a whole lot of fun for everyone in the community. Tell us about this year's art fair. What's similar and what's different to years past?
So I think what's similar is you're still going to come and see some fabulous art. We have close to 1,000 artists coming from around the country and around the world. So we have some other artists coming from other countries. And you'll also come and see our great sidewalk sales, and our local businesses will be right there in the heart of the fair also. So you can get some great food and some great Michigan swag. So it's really a fun time. And some new things that we're going to see. We always have great performers and new performers on our stages, both on Main Street and in Ingalls Mall at the Street Art Fair on the Fountain Stage. And we also have a special event at the Arc on Main Street where we're going to have some Inuit artists from Canada. So there's going to be a lot of diverse activities at the fair this year.
And what's always surprised me about the Ann Arbor Art Fair is just how far it reaches in Ann Arbor. Talking to your art fair representatives last year, the artists and the team running the show, it really does go throughout. It's not just a little bit of Ann Arbor. It's all of Ann Arbor is this art fair. Tell us about that.
Yes, it goes all the way from Main Street all the way to South U, which is the traditional university neighborhood, student neighborhood. So we have encompassed 30 city blocks, and we fill those blocks. Our booths are side by side up against each other with little breaks here and there, but they are chock full with art and amazing activities. And like I said, our local businesses come out. We have our first responders, police and fire, set up information booths in our Liberty Plaza area. So they're there handing out information. It's just really a huge downtown event.
Yeah, and it's actually 3 different fairs all in one, correct?
Yes. So we're 3 separate nonprofits, the Guild of Artists and Artisans, the Ann Arbor Street Art Fair, the original, and our State Street District, which runs the State Street Art Fair. So we all jury our artists. We give them scores once they apply. We invite them, and we work together throughout the year in scheduling an event, working with city staff, other partners like the University of Michigan, and others in the downtown to make it happen.
And so when you say it's a juried show, I hear that often with these art shows, but there's kind of a floating definition that goes between some of these. So when you say it's juried, what does that mean in Ann Arbor?
So that means that we go through an application process. All three of us use application.org, and the artists go in there and they fill out their application, and then each one of us has our own jury. And that's made up of experts in the art fair industry, the arts industry. And they look at each piece, each artist's, what they produce or what they give. In State Street, we ask for 4 pictures of art and then 1 booth shot. And our jury evaluates those and scores them. And then we take the highest scores and invite them. And then it's up to the artist to accept the invitation.
We're joined by Frances Todoro-Hargreaves, who is the executive director of the State Street District in Ann Arbor and a spokesperson for this year's Ann Arbor Art Fair, July 20th, 21st, and 22nd. That's a Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday. More information can be found on the Ann Arbor Art Fair.com to learn more about all different parts of the art fair. 30 blocks of Ann Arbor, all with this art and other entertainment as well. Frances, about a minute left. So tell us about some of the other entertainment that's also considered art, of course, that people can enjoy over 30 blocks in Ann Arbor.
Mm-hmm. So we'll still have sidewalk chalking by David Zinn. Mr. B will be playing on the fountain stage. He's always great to come by and see. So a lot of local bands also will be available for folks to see. So it's going to be exciting. We're going to have a good time. You'll also have some demonstrations of glass blowing at the street art fair. So it'll be a lot of stuff, a lot of walking. So be prepared.
We will be prepared. It's a fun show happening in the heart of the summer, July 20th and 21st, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. all throughout Ann Arbor, and Saturday, July 22nd, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Frances, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Always glad to have the Ann Arbor Art Fair on. We'll learn plenty more about the art fair over the next several weeks leading up to this show every Monday right here on the MegaCast. The AnnArborArtFair.com, the place to go for more information in the meantime, or join us every Monday for more info as well as we talk to some of those artists and others participating in the Ann Arbor Art Fair. That is going to do it for this first edition of this special Splash Live and MegaCast combined show live from my home here in Western Oakland County. I'll be back Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with more of this programming. And of course, you can always join us Monday through Friday each and every week. We'll get back to it very soon for Greater West Bloomfield News, 9:30 to 10 a.m., and the MegaCast across Oakland County from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. For all of our guests and our dedicated crew, I'm Tyler Kieft. Until next time, take care of each other, and we'll see you very soon.